Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another edition of The Professional Fan. I am your host, The Professional Fan, Mike Antonace, and it's been a while, been a little bit. Life has been crazy, moved into a new house, beautiful home, been doing a lot of work to it, working a lot, working when I get home, work everywhere, work. That's all it is. So, first show back, going to talk Browns NFL draft prospects. Time of the year, I've been doing a lot of research in my spare time, a lot of reading, a lot of rumbles, a lot of rumors, and we will get right into it. So, yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Absolutely, we appreciate the support. Thank you, Humble, for putting that in there. And I'm going to bring up my man. You know him, you love him. He's going to be helping me out as I get back into the swing of things. Monsieur Joseph Latman. I'm adding him to the stage right now. I can do that from my phone. Didn't even know that. Look at that.
Welcome back, Mike. Welcome back.
I appreciate it. Are you ready to discuss my personal favorite draft prospects for the Browns at 6 and 24 and 39? We can maybe get into some third round discussions, but it really depends who's there. But yeah, some interesting rumblings going on right now. Some interesting visits. I think I saw the thing that we're going to bring up, but it's a surprise even to me. But yeah, let's get right into it. Do you want to bring up the Mary Kay?
Yes, so I'll present the topics to you, and Mike will give his reaction. So we got a poll right now down below. Also, you guys can see it right there. Should the Browns trade down from number 6? Yes or no? Let us know in the chat or in the poll, excuse me, and vote now on the poll. So it's in the chat. So yeah, let's get right to it, Mike. So obviously we're gonna get to this in a minute. Get your reaction on that. But also breaking news today after Mary Kay Cabot. It says the Browns have hosted first round left tackle prospects Monroe Freely of Georgia, Caden Proctor of Alabama, Caleb Lamu of Utah for top 30 pre-draft visits, with Freeling coming in 2 weeks ago and Lamu and Proctor on Thursday. Sources tell Cleveland.com. Previously, they hosted left tackle Markel Bell out of Miami and are believed to have brought in a number of other top tackle prospects as they continue overhauling their offense. Now, to give a little context to that for you real quick, Mike, and for the audience, I know Tony Grossi and some others said there's a lot of Francis Malinoa smoke there as well. I think they spent a lot of time with him. She also went on in this article to talk about when they took Jed Wills, because it said in the article that the Browns really don't care if they're a left or right tackle, that they don't really view that as an issue. Now, two things I want to add to that real quick. Obviously, if we had Stump Mitchell on the show, who was in the building back in 2020 when they took Jed, and you've heard some other reports, but he said at point blank that the great Bill Callahan, he wanted Tristan Wirfs. They still went with Jed Wills. And then that Jed Wills never wanted to play left tackle to begin with, but they made him play left tackle. So I hope the Browns learn their lesson, Mike, about how to handle tackles again. And, you have George Warhop, who's a Bill Callahan-like coach and that type of tier in the building. I hope Andrew Berry may have, learned his lessons from last time and goes with the best player available. Maybe maybe he will, Mike, with San Diego gone now. So I think the shadow GM's out, that maybe Barry could actually take who he likes. But your thoughts on this, Mike? What's your thoughts on the tackle position and all the tackles they brought in today?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're doing kind of what we anticipated. It looks like they're kind of waffling on where they want to pick tackle. Obviously, they are putting heavy focus on it, but Monroe Freeling is a guy you expect to get at 6, or in a typical theoretical trade down scenario like 10, maybe 11. The other two gentlemen, Proctor and Lomu, are going to be more than likely available at 24. So it sounds like the Browns are considering all their options, putting it all on the table. Will they pick tackle first? If it does, it's probably Monroe Freeling, true left tackle prospect. And if you pick a tackle at 24, Proctor and or Lomo, you would expect them to, pick either of those players at 24, being that they would more than likely be available. Amongst other guys, and Mount Noah, a lot of smoke. I expect that to be in a trade down scenario. I mean, I like him a lot, but I think at the NFL level, he is a guard. His arm length just isn't synonymous with what you see with successful tackles in the NFL. So I would call Mount Noah a guard. That I think he's going to be a great guard, one of the best. But that being said, I like these visits. One of the visits that it little bit of shocked me in a top 30 visit was David Bailey, defensive end out of Texas A&M. I'd like to get your opinion on that because I know there's a lot of smoke about Myles Garrett trade rumors. Hope that's not the case. Obviously, Todd Monken's comments about the voluntary workout off-season program. You know, people have been running wild in the media with what he said in regards to Myles Garrett, but I think he said it best at the end where he's like, you know, Myles Garrett will be ready. Like, obviously I want people who want to be here, but Myles Garrett will be ready. I have no doubt. And that's kind of how he ended it. So I think it's a big nothing burger. You know, 30 visits are a lot and they have 2 first-round picks. I think they're thinking of every single avenue, in my opinion. Hence why they had David Bailey on a visit. Because, I mean, who knows? Maybe they defensive end is a huge, premium position in the NFL. You know, Myles Garrett is amazing, and I think he'll be good into his 30s, but, Father Time is undefeated. If they think they can get a long-term replacement already, and David Bailey's super young, why wouldn't they have him on a visit? I don't think it has anything to do with the Myles Garrett trade rumors. I think it has everything to do with just covering all their bases. Andrew Berry is well known for that. But yeah, I think the Mount Noah stuff specifically is them being like, hey, who wants to trade up? This guy's awesome. Who wants to trade up? Please. Remember how they did Travis Hunter last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the David Bailey stuff, I think that's the real trade bait, honestly.
You think?
I think if somehow he fell, I think they would have obviously get calls, because it's a premium position. I think they should definitely take a look at it. I mean, here's the thing about having a top 10 pick. You get a premium player on a discount.
Correct. Yeah.
For 4 years. So it's like you're a situation like the Browns. You need to get the best players in here as possible because you're not the number one attractive market in free agency, and you got to. I think that's how you build your team. Ultimately, through the draft. That's your core, and you never know. I mean, I think obviously Myles Garrett is. I think no doubt he'll be here next year. I mean, never say never because it's the Browns in the NFL. Something could happen, but I don't think he'll be traded by training camp. I assume he'll be here for the opening game and on the roster. But I think you should always still have as much depth as possible in the most, spots like defensive line, pass rush. Obviously, Andrew Berry said you always want to have a little more. You want to invest in the quarterback position, not just your starter. Have backups. Tackle position, offensive line. You should have a lot of depth there. So, depth in the trenches and a quarterback. But I think that's something they should always be looking forward. I mean, I think you should never just because you have some set guys and it's they've produced last year, you should still be looking to always add to that every year. I think every year I would always draft a lineman on both sides of the ball if I was a GM.
I agree.
Because I think it's just you never know. So, and not because he may get traded, but just because knock on wood anybody gets injured or anything, you want to have depth. So. I mean, I think they want to take a look at him, see what he's got. I think Ruben Bain is the best edge in this draft. Personally, I think David Bailey's really good. I think Ruben Bain's just dominant. I think he's going to be a great player in the NFL. So if I were them, I would even take a look at him. But I think those guys are more so trade down because honestly, if you're going to take the best player, I would take Caleb Downs at 6. I think and the safety is an actual need you have. Grant's coming up to his contract year. He's got 1 year left, and they've never had that ball hawking safety in the last I don't know how many years of my lifetime. They just haven't had that kind of guy back there, and that's really the final piece they need on that defense. If you really think about it, they have the linebackers, they have the fronts, the front seven, they got corners. They just need that, and they need a little more depth at corner, but they really need that having that kind of safety back there. That's why it's called safety. Like it's just it takes away so many things. And how have the Browns been beaten in the last? As great as Jim Schwartz's defense was at times, a lot of times they got beat on explosive plays, and some of that is man coverage by the corners with lack of speed or just not good fundamentals. But I think just having that kind of safety over the top that could really cover a lot of things is what they need. So Downs would be my guy, but if you're looking at tackle, I mean, Francis Malinois is the best offensive lineman in the draft to me. I think the kid out of Penn State would be number 2. I would go Freeling number 3. So if you want the best pure left tackle, who's a top 3 guy, Freeling makes a lot of sense. Now, a lot of people say, well, do you take him at 6? I look at it like this. I mean, the people say, remember when people said Lions were crazy for taking Jahmyr Gibbs at that, then they get 5 or 6?
Yeah, it was pretty high.
Yeah, it was high to a lot of people, but at the end of the day, if that's your guy and you feel like you may not get him or it's not a good trade down scenario to get him somewhere else, where maybe if you trade down too far, another team could snag him in the middle, like you just take the guy, you take what you need. Like,
take the guys you like. I'm all for that.
Yeah, this isn't a farm system. This shouldn't be. And this shouldn't be, if you're trading out, even though you like the guy, but you're valuing draft picks more, 2 things that tells me. You're looking for you believe you're telling us you're in a full rebuild is what you're telling us, that basically next year it's another kick the can year. We're not even trying to win. And then the second thing you're telling me, if you do that, is we're trying just to get draft capital for next year's draft class for quarterbacks. So we don't believe we really don't believe in the quarterbacks we have in the room. That's the only 2 things it tells me. So, if he's there and you like him, take him. I mean, unless you're getting a first round pick for next year or maybe a high end second for this year, another premium pick, I could see that. I just don't think we talked about that, Mike, on my show. I don't think you're going to get that at 6.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like this is not one of those drafts where you can get like, the premium tackle or the premium like blue chip player of need, which is weird how it's happening for the Browns the year that they have 2 first round picks after not having one for so long. We strike gold on Mason Graham, but now the positions we need are tackle and wide receiver, and there are good players at that position, but there are no Will Campbells, there's no Tet McMillans, there's no just for sure will change that position group for the foreseeable future kind of players. You have good players that might turn out to be excellent, but nothing that will completely nothing that gives a GM 110% confidence, I would say.
Well, and I think the 4 guys I think will be there that I think are the for sure guys. I think the 2 linemen I mentioned that both are kind of guard. One is a guard, the other one is a tweener. Somali Noah kind of tweener. I think the kid out of Penn State the for sure thing, and I think Downs or Reuben Bain. Those 2 to me are all 4 of those to me are going to be for sure. I think those are 4 guys teams to move up to get. Now, how much would they give to move up to get him? I don't know. I think the one intriguing thing about, and I said this before and it got reported today, is Dallas at 12. Dallas has number 12 and 20 picks. So they got 2 first-round picks too, like the Browns. They need a pass rusher. They can move up and get Reuben Bain at 6. What would they give us? I think that's the only trade in my eyes that makes sense for both teams, and that you can get maybe another premium pick this year, an additional or something next year or something. I don't know. How bad do they need that pass rusher? I think that's the team to me I would take a look at.
Yeah, and I think the Cowboys make a ton of sense there. If David Bailey or Reuben Bain starts to fall, I think they would get a little crazy too and trade you 12 and possibly an additional second. Maybe they even go more than that. Who knows? Andrew Berry's typically really good at getting out value from trades in those scenarios. So hopefully he can repeat that if that scenario doesn't fold.
Well, Mike, we're going to move on now to the next topic we got. The main topic of the show. We're going to get to a mock draft here in a minute, so don't go anywhere. But who's top on the board? So we talked about all the scenarios just now, like how we see the board shaking out, who we think is going to be there, right? I know we kind of mentioned some of the top guys that may be there. Realistically, are probably going to be Downs, Bain, all the receivers, all the tackles, most likely, right? So who's the top on the board for you, Mike? What would be kind of your top 5 guys, I would say, right there at 6 that you would say, okay, that's my top 5. Who do you like? And then would you any of them? Oh, actually, I got to follow for you. But who would be your top 5?
My top 5 for the Browns.
Yeah.
For me, as of right now, it's Jordan Tyson at number 1, Monroe Freeling number 2, Carnell Tate number 3, Caleb Downs number 4, and then I'd have David Bailey at 5.
Do you think David Bailey could fall up to 6?
Do
you think he will fall to 6?
Are you telling me who's going to be drafted? Oh yeah, those are the players I think that could be available at 6. Yeah.
Do you think David Bailey could be there at 6?
It's very feasible, yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. And you tell me yes or no. Would you trade out of the pick Jalen Tyson? Or not Jalen Tyson's brother, Jordan Tyson, excuse me.
Would I trade out of the pick as in like trading down and foregoing Jordan Tyson?
If he's there at 6 and he's your top guy, are you just taking him at 6? Or would you risk trading out and not getting him?
Well, here's the thing. I think for the Browns, there's a lot of right answers this year, which is a good thing and a bad thing. I think if you're offered 12 and an additional second, you trade down and you'd be happy with Freeling, Tate, or someone else. And there's a lot of draft analysts too that even though Jordan Tyson's my top guy on the board for the Browns, I think he'll fall because of his injuries. It's not a guarantee, obviously, and there's a chance
that's what I ask you. So I want to do an exercise here with your top 5, right? So would you rather take them at 6 or take the risk of not getting them if you trade it down? So basically, like, what I'm asking you is if you feel like if they're there at 6, would you take him or would you take the chance? Let's say there's a chance you don't get him at all if you trade down. So like is Jordan Tyson that kind of guy where you have to take him at 6 without risking losing him?
No, none of them are really.
So do you put no on all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that answers all of it. Okay. So you say no on all of them. So I guess kind of what would be your thought process here if you're Andrew Berry looking at your board? You have your top guys, like you said, you like really all 4. You like all 5 of these guys right here. Obviously, Ruben Bain, we don't think he'll be there at 6, but let's say it's him or David Bailey, right? So how far would you trade down, like you said? Or, you mentioned Dallas. I mean, how far would you go?
Absolute farthest would be like pick 14. But like if I'm trading down that far, the compensation's got to match, but I'm not trading out of the early teens. Like if it's farther than that, I would say no. Because here's the thing, there's so many players that I think the Browns would be okay with and I would be okay with, especially if they get like another second to like help fix all of the issues on offense. That it would make sense. Like here's the thing, if the Browns, if Andrew Berry trades down to I'm using Dallas as an example to 12, and they pick, let's say, David Bailey, Ruben Bain, one of the two, if they fall. And, maybe Jordan Tyson's gone, maybe Carnell Tate's gone, but Monroe Freeling and Caleb Downs are there. And then you have an additional second. Maybe you think there's a tackle prospect at 24 and a receiver prospect that you can get with your additional second. That would make more sense. And you can take a risk on picking someone like a Caleb Downs, who's, a generational talent at the position. Or, maybe it's one of those situations where Monroe Freeling isn't there anymore at 12, but Carnell Tate is, and he fell. And then you're happy with that position. There's so many different ways it can go that I think the Browns have so many guys they would be okay with taking at that with that pick that it makes the most sense for them to trade down because there's a lot of right answers for the Browns this year, in my opinion.
Well, let's go down. You tell me yes or no. Are they a blue chip prospect in this class? Jordan Tyson,
No,
Monroe Freeland,
no,
Carnell Tate,
no,
Caleb Downs,
yes,
David Bailey.
maybe.
Yes or no?
Right now, no.
Okay, so the only blue chip you have is Caleb Downs. So if Caleb's there at 6, what would you do as Andrew Berry?
I mean, I'm still going to try and trade down and get an additional second. I really think he's excellent, but the offense needs absolute like rehauling, retooling with the wide receiver, and you need a tackle. And here's the thing, too. If you have an additional second, you can trade back up into the first and get someone like in the late first who might be, first round talent. Like Caleb Downs blue chip, but like you have Dylan Thieneman, who people are mocking in the late first, who's excellent out of Oregon. And then you have his name is escaping me, but the safety out of Toledo, who also is being mocked. Warren McNeil.
Warren McNeil. Emmanuel Warren McNeil
is being mocked in the first, and he's excellent as well. So there are 3 if you wanted to improve that position, with which the Browns could use some improvement at that position, I think you can do it without spending a 6th overall pick on it, if that makes sense. Even if, Caleb Downs is a true blue chip, which he is.
Let me ask you this. What's your thoughts on the Browns and Ty Simpson? Obviously, Ty Simpson's viewed as probably the second available quarterback in this class, as Mendoza is obviously going number 1 of the Raiders, and that's a done deal. Ty Simpson, obviously close connection with Todd Monken. The Browns have a lot of interest in Ty Simpson. It seems like some of the reports says they have spent time with him a little bit, and they've got they've studied him and stuff. Monken seems to like him. Next year's draft class isn't a guarantee. You never know what could happen. I think they like Shedeur, like we've talked about, right? They believe in Shedeur, I think, but it's still unproven. Deshaun Watson, they're going to give a shot, but I don't think a lot of people expect them to re-sign Deshaun Watson no matter what. So I guess kind of how would you approach Ty Simpson if you were Andrew Berry? I mean, how far would he have to fall down for you? Let's say, if you traded down and get that additional second, that may give you more ammunition to try to get him if that's what you felt. I mean, what's your thought process on that with Ty Simpson?
With Ty Simpson, it's really all depending on how the coaching staff feels about him. I mean, if they genuinely feel like he would be a franchise quarterback, if they genuinely feel that way, and you have an additional second, you can probably get Ty Simpson. The only team I could see having any sort of interest in him is, well, I'll name 2 teams. I think the Rams and I think the Steelers are the 2 teams that might have some interest in him. Now, I think the Steelers pick in the late teens, early 20s. I'm not sure where the Rams pick, if they have a first-round pick this year. But those are the 2 teams you might have to be worried about. But I only think the Steelers are the team that would take a chance on him, if I'm being completely honest. So if, in fact, if Todd Monken has met with the kid, if they met with him at the combine, if they do a top 30 visit with him, if the stars align and Todd Monken goes, hey, I think this kid's a franchise quarterback, I really do. I'd be, and they trade up to get him. I'm just going to have to, and this is going to sound silly, I'm going to have to
I think we might have lost Mike for a second.
And if that's really what the Browns think is the best scenario going forward, if that's who they think is going to be their franchise quarterback, then you got to get him.
Can you finish that last part? We lost you for a second. You cut out for 10 seconds.
Oh, I was just saying essentially if the Browns think that he's a franchise quarterback, they truly believe that. You have to kind of trust the process. I know that might sound silly because it's the Cleveland Browns, but it's a new regime. If Todd Monken truly believes it, then yeah, I mean, make the pick, trade up into the late 20s and get him.
Yeah, he's an interesting one, I think, in this class. I feel like there's some secrets. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't think they're actively targeting him in this draft, but I do think there's like a plan, just in case he falls to a certain spot. That's just the vibe I'm getting. I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be fascinating to see what they do there at the quarterback position this draft. If they just roll it with Shador and Watson, which a lot of people expect, or is he a guy that they feel like, like I said, if he falls to a certain spot, like, yeah, we might take him. I don't know. It's gonna be fascinating to see how that unfolds with him on draft night. But do you think he goes in the first round?
I'm mostly no on that right now, but I mean, there are some teams that might have him higher than Mendoza. I just don't know. I'm going to say 60% no, 40% yes. I'm almost certain that he would be available in the second, but I'm not for sure.
All right. Well, we're going to get to our last segment here. You know what that is, Mike? It's mock draft. So this will be Mike's first edition of his mock draft here on his show for the 2026 draft. I almost said 2026 draft. So Mike, we will get right into it. So we're going to start off here with a pro football focus. Excuse me. PFF mock draft first, since they do the grades. Now we're not subscribed to them, so we're going to do a trade or no trade. So Mike's just going to pick straight up for the first 4 picks, and then he's going to do another mock draft on another site where he can do actual trades and stuff, and he'll get a little creative to see what he can do. So Mike, we're going to start off here number 6. You're on the clock here at number 6. Let's see who's available. And we have David Bailey, Francis Malioga. We have Caleb Downs, Carnell Tate, Dylan Thiemann, Spencer Fano, Monroe Freeling. So obviously you can't trade out of this, but who would you take right here at number 6 if you can't trade?
I'm taking Monroe Freeling.
Really? Over Downs and Bailey?
Yeah, I'm still, if I have to make the pick, I'm certain that as a left tackle, Monroe Freeling is the best available, in my opinion. There's an argument to be made that Spencer Fano could be better. But as far as like ceiling, floor, all around, I think you can draft Monroe Freeling. He can be an instantaneous starter. And even if he never like eclipses like top 5 tackle status, I think he'll always hover like top 15. And as long as you have a good starting left tackle, maybe not great or like the best, but he'll at least be good, solid, and start for you for 10 years. If I have to pick one, I'm picking that.
All right, so now we're here at number 24, and we have Keldrick Falk, the edge out of Auburn, Avian Terrell out of Clemson, Blake Miller, Caden Proctor, Caden McDonald, Denzel Boston there, the receiver. Casey's Conception's down here, receiver. What are you thinking here? Caleb also on the board.
I'm going to take Denzel Boston. I like Denzel Boston a lot. I know his draft stock has dropped a little bit in recent weeks. I still think he's kind of a sleeper wide receiver pick. I know he went to small school, but like I think he'll be excellent in the NFL. He's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the body control.
Yeah, he'd be in my top 4 with a couple guys. So I mean, I like him, Tyson, Tate, and then the kid at USC, Lemon. 39 now, Mike. We have KC Conception. We have Ty Simpson's there. We have D'Angelo Pons. Who are you thinking here at 39?
Wait, KC Conception is still there?
Yes.
I'm taking KC Conception. I'm double dipping at wide receiver.
So Mike's going to go with KC Conception.
And then with our 3rd round pick,
Well, we lost your analysis there, Kev. Casey Conception.
My
Wally, good to see
connection
you,
is
brother.
bad.
We're doing good. How you doing, Wally?
Doing great, Wally.
But yeah, what was your breakdown there? Why you went back to double dip there on the receiver?
Casey Conception has been mocked as early as like in the late teens. Like NFL execs are a lot higher on him than analysts are. He's very fast and he has great hands. A little undersized, but I think he can make a great NFL wide receiver. And double dipping at two first round prospects at a position of absolute need gives the Browns a lot of cushion. And then they solve the left tackle problem too. And then they just solve their wide receiver problem. You might not have two like superstar wide receivers, but you have two really good ones.
Tune In Sports says, y'all got to bring Tyson's brother home. LOL. Shout out to Tune In Sports. Go subscribe.
Subscribe to Tune In Sports.
He said, how do y'all approach a draft? Do you go best player available versus need?
I think this is going to be need this year. I think this is a need draft.
I'm looking at it if Caleb Downs or Ruben Bain is there. I would have to really consider taking one of those two. But if they're not there, then I would try to. We'll get to the trade, obviously, draft here in a minute. But then, yeah, you go to need. Obviously, everybody knows left tackle and receiver is what you need the most. So now your last pick here at 70, Mike, you have a tackle out of Northwestern, Derek Moore, the edge. You have Zachariah Branch, Max Clare, the tight end out of Ohio State. What are you thinking here? Anthony Hill, the linebacker out of Texas.
Oh, Chandler Rivers.
Okay, so you're going with the cornerback Chandler Rivers.
Yep. Instantaneous slot corner. Really liked him coming out of Duke. Underrated player. If you want a player that I personally think could be like the next underrated starter, it's Chandler Rivers out of Duke.
So there's your first mock draft, Mike, with no trades. We're going to do the trade one here in a minute, but your first 1.0 version, you have Monroe Freeling, the tackle at number 6, Denzel Boston, 24, Casey Conception, double dip receiver at 39, and then Chandler Rivers at 70, and they give you a B+ grade. Your reaction to the grades?
PFF doesn't know what they're talking about. This is an excellent draft. Should be A+.
Okay. And they agree. They say fire and thumbs up. He said, yeah, I think on the offense, but obviously Downs won't be on the board long. Yeah, Caleb's the real deal, Holyfield. So now
one day my connection in my house will be good.
Yeah, maybe one day. But now we're going to get to the next mock draft. So again, now we're going to do one with trades on another site. So this one's going to be really interesting. I think this is the one a lot of people are going to want to see. We'll do a 7-round mock here. And we'll close out with this, but let's get to it, Mike. So obviously we're going to click on as the Browns. Get rid of all these stupid ads when I can. Give me a minute. One thing I don't like about this site, all these ads. But anyways, so we're going to do trades in this one. So, Mike, you can do a trade ahead of time you wanted to. Are you already thinking of a trade you want to try, or do you want to see? Do you want to get the 6 first and then see who's available, then decide if you want to trade?
Oh. I think my connection is bad again.
Mike's got the boony Wi-Fi.
I do. I am in the boonies now. I'm still adjusting.
He said, y'all eating good tonight. How y'all feel about Ramsey, he said. Jalen Ramsey? He said, get it together, Mike. Are you good, Mike?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we can hear you. All right,
I'm just going to say stationary.
Yeah, just stay where you are. Don't move.
I'm not moving a muscle.
Do not move. But no, so Mike, obviously, do you want to get to 6 and then decide if you want to trade down, or you want to trade down ahead of time?
Let's get to 6. See who's there. Let's see if we have any offers.
All right. So your offers here at number 6, right off the bat. This is third. Well, I don't know. I didn't read it all the way. So you get a first next year and a second from Detroit.
No, can't do it. No.
Third and a first. Okay, no. 13, a second next year, and a fifth.
I'd want more this year. That's not horrible. So far, that's the best offer. Is that's the only 3 offers, huh?
Yeah.
Well, if I'm Andrew Berry, I say no to all of these.
Do you want to try to trade out to a team?
We can try. Let's try
about-
trading to Dallas.
Why
not?
What team is it, Mike?
The Cowboys.
Yeah, but it's Dallas. It's them boys, Mike.
Them boys. Dallas. Let's do pick 6 for pick 12 and pick. They don't have a second. Let's do pick 92.
Okay. Not enough. It says they need to. It says the Browns are giving up too much.
And the 4th.
Or do you want to do?
Or next year's second if they have one.
Nope.
All right, then their 4th round pick, and then their 4th round pick next year.
Nope.
Okay, let's try 6 for 12 and 20. Let's see what it says about that. This is an interesting one. I doubt this would happen, but
yeah, you want to give 24 and see if that works?
6 for 12 and 20. Yeah, why not?
That works. Do you want to take that trade?
Yeah.
All right. So Mike's going to move up back to 12, but also move up. So
reject.
Reject. All right. So Ruben Bain is there, which is incredible. Carnell Tate is there. Caleb Downs is still there. Monroe Freeling's still there. Jordan Tyson is still there.
Oh my God! What? Okay, so
I guess the draft just.
This is
They had.
They
had Omar Cooper Jr. going at 11, Mike, and they had Dylan Thieme going at 10
over Caleb Downs. This is an interesting service. So, I mean, I'm only going to take a player I think feasibly could drop to 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in this scenario, I'm taking Carnell Tate
over Jordan Tyson.
Oh, Jordan Tyson's there? I'd take Jordan Tyson. Absolutely. Best wide receiver prospect.
2, and you got your wish. They brought the brother home. Any of these trades, Mike?
No.
Hell no.
No.
Yeah, they can kick rocks. All right.
Monroe Freeling. Perfect world.
And there, I think, Mike, he actually, in a world, he could be there at 20. You never know.
He very well could be.
So you got Tyson and Freeling. That's incredible. Now with your next pick at 39.
No.
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 No. It's actually the Chargers trade isn't horrible, but pick up another 3rd. No. I'll say no to all of them.
Yeah,
I think
that's all shit. Anyways, so you have Ty Simpson's there, Avion Terrell's there.
Oh my God, CJ Allen is there. Give me CJ Allen. I don't give a shit.
All right, tell us why you don't give a shit.
CJ Allen is the best linebacker prospect in the draft. That would be us getting the best linebacker prospect in the entire draft 2 years in a row in the 2nd round. That would be hilarious. We would win. We would get another defensive rookie of the year, and he might be the only defensive player we pick. That would be nuts. CJ Allen can do it all. CJ Allen can put his hand in the dirt. CJ Allen can not and just be an insane will linebacker. It looks like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah's career is unfortunately over. He's going back to Harvard for public relations. He's still going to be involved with the Browns in some way, it sounds like, but it does sound like his career's over. And if you want the best linebacking room in the NFL, people always talk about the Ravens. It would be the Browns instantaneously. Good luck running.
Yeah. What do you think of Kamari Ramsey, said the safety?
Oh, Kamari Ramsey out of USC. I like him a lot. This is unfortunately a really loaded safety class, so I think he drops in the 2nd. But any other year, he might be one of the better safety prospects. He's really rangy. I'm a little worried about his size at the position, especially because safeties are pretty much expected to drop into the box. but he's one of those safeties that you can like put in the slot, and have him like cover actually, like just from the slot, or even put outside. I think Kamari Ramsey could even like shift to corner. But no, I like him a lot.
He said Myles to Dallas.
No. Shut your mouth.
Now, what if Dallas called you, Mike, and said, "Hey, we'll give you 12 and 20, a first next year, and a second back year for Myles Garrett"? Would you do?
Well, they don't have seconds, so they would have to legitimately. They'd have to offer their 2 first-round picks. Fuck. I mean, if they're offering 3 first-round picks, and we go into this draft with 4 first-round picks, I don't know, man. No. I mean, I would at least. I would at least
right there.
Yeah, I would at least think about it. I mean, that's not like a no. Because, I mean, you can draft David Bailey or Reuben Bain. Are they going to turn into Myles Garrett? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. Because Myles Garrett's a Hall of Famer and probably going to go down as one of the best to ever do it. But are they going to be good enough to hold the position down? Probably. And then you can feasibly draft, like, another, like, all the players of need. I don't know. I mean, that's the most interesting one. If Dallas was like, we'll give you 12, 20, and whatever next year, that's a strong maybe.
I think Jimmy may consider that, especially with the pick next year. I think he would consider it. Keep killing the content, Humble. Humble, go subscribe to Humble right there at Humbleman MMA. Put out his first video for UFC event coming up this weekend in Miami, so he'll give all his picks. So make sure you guys go subscribe and show him some love and check out the video and like it and share it. So here we are, Mike, at your 3rd round pick here, pick 70. We'll go through the trades here. Do you like this?
That's actually a really good trade package for a 3rd round pick. We might go back to that one. No. You know what? I think I would say yes to that, honestly.
All right, so he trades back down.
I mean, you're getting, 5 picks for 1? Moving back? No. I'm not trading with Tampa. No. All
right, so we got Malachi Fields here, Keith Abney. We have Max Clare. We have Elijah Surratt is on the board. Skylar Bell. Kamari Ramsey's here.
You lost me again. Here, am I back? Am I back?
Yeah, we got you.
Skylar Bell.
You have Oscar Delp also here as well.
Skylar Bell.
Lance. So you're going Skylar Bell.
All the way.
Why Skylar Bell? Who I like.
Super rangy wide receiver, really fast, great route runner, underrated route runner. Was the only reason people tuned in to UConn football. So
you like the combo with him and Tyson?
Yes, I love that combo.
All right, so now here we are at 92, pick 92, 3rd round. You like this? And I think we might have lost him again. He's got the boony Wi-Fi.
My connection is awful.
Do you like this trade?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. We got you.
Southern
man. Bell, do you like this trade?
I'm so sorry, folks. I'm legit not doing a thing. Maybe they're doing some service in my area. I did not know. Maybe I'll try with the Wi-Fi off next time.
Mike, what do you think of Southern Bell? What do you think of this trade right here?
No.
This one?
No. Well, no.
This one?
No.
How about this one?
I'm not trading with them ever.
All right, fuck them. So right here, you have Max Clare, you have Elijah Surratt, Kamari Ramsey, Oscar Delp, Bryce Lance, Malik Muhammad, Genesis Smith, Chandler Rivers.
I'm taking Malik Muhammad.
Chandler Rivers is also here.
Malik Muhammad is a little bit better.
So you're not taking Kamari Ramsey?
I like him. you know, I think I just think Ronnie Hickman can hold down that role. I really do. I don't know. I think I'd take Malik Muhammad in this.
Why do you like Malik?
Malik Muhammad was their best DB this past year. I think he's big enough to play in the slot, and I think he would be like an excellent like fourth linebacker out there, third linebacker out there, depending on the package. And you really just need to solidify the slot corner position is the only position where it's not good. Like at least not there's nobody actively holding it down, you know. Like Ronnie Hickman has at least done a good job of that.
He said Joe sounded like the eye doctor. How about this one? One or two? Here's one again. We'll get to this one in a minute. We'll close out with that question from Humble. Do you like this trade, Mike? All right. How about this one?
No.
Corey's Falcons.
No. Not trading with him. Fuck him.
All right. Yeah, Corey, that's all your fault.
No. Sorry, Grandpa
right.
Cardinal.
Yeah. So Elijah Surratt's still there. Which is great. Genesis Smith, Chandler Rivers.
Genesis Smith.
All right. Why Genesis Smith?
He's excellent. He's a really solid safety prospect. I don't know why they have him rated so low. He's a second round pick.
Some back-to-back picks here. Do you like this? Any of these trades?
No. 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 And no.
Hell no. All
Give me.
So Bryce Lance is still there. Chandler Rivers is still there. Do you want to look at any position? Jacoby Lane there. Dalen Everett's there. Damn. Drew Aller's also here as well.
Yeah, let's take a flyer on Drew Aller.
Xavier Harris also there. I think that's a sleeper in this draft.
Ooh, I like Xavier Harris. Pick him up.
Yeah, we're going with him. All right,
No.
Here we are. Drew Aller's still there. And there's the top guys. What are you thinking here? Markel Bell's there to offensive tackle out of Miami.
Yeah, I'd pick Markel Bell. I like him a lot.
All right, so swing tackle.
Little swing tackle, yeah. No.
All right.
Also no.
All right, so we have Drew Aller still there, Jacoby Lane, Brendan Thompson.
We're in the fifth round?
Yeah.
I'd take a flyer on Drew Aller in the fifth. Why not?
Carson Beck's also there.
Hell no.
All right, so Drew Aller it is. Why Drew Aller for you?
He has the size and the arm that you want. And like, even if he doesn't turn into anything, maybe he can be, I mean, he's a better backup quarterback prospect than Dylan Gabriel. Like in the fifth, like I think he can at least hold it down and at least be somewhat exciting if need be. But yeah, no.
All right, pick 149 here, your last fifth. You got Jacoby Lane, Brendan Thompson.
I'd take Jacoby Lane. He could probably be your punt return specialist.
All right. Yeah, he's a guy a lot of people are fascinated with. I think he has a high upside if he hits. Your last couple picks, maybe one or two left, is here we are with 201 here in the sixth round.
I'm not trading with them, and
all right. So no. Jeff Caldwell, Joe
Give me
Royer.
Jaeger Burton.
All right, why Jaeger Burton?
I've heard some nice things about him. Could be a sleeper guard prospect, but also you just want to kind of revitalize that O-line. I mean, you got to build up the trenches, build up backups. As of right now, we don't really have secondary guys in the O-line yet. I mean, maybe Zach Zinner, but he's just hasn't gotten back to form since the injury in Michigan. So you want to have a little bit of fluidity there.
Well, look at you with the big words.
Yeah.
Any of these trades? You said no to Chicago, Dallas.
No. Washington. No. Fuck Atlanta. No, sorry. I don't mean the city of Atlanta. I just mean the Falcons. I'm spiting Kevin Stefanski. I'm a Cleveland guy. I don't mean the city of Atlanta is a great city. I love Coca-Cola.
Well, 206 here. I mean, you haven't drafted a tight end yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I like Joe Royer. That's kind of late for. I thought he would be higher I like Joe Royer a lot out of Cincy.
So Joe Royer, the former Buckeye?
Yeah, why not?
All right, he said Joe Royer it is. Royer the Destroyer. Oh, Jack Andrews was there, though, too. Well, we went Royer to... I think this might be your last pick here in the 7th round, Mike.
Roman Hemby. Let's bring in the Indiana running back. Why not?
So you're on any other of these players you're interested in?
No, I think
How
Roman
about the John
Hemby.
Carroll kid, Tyron Montgomery. You out on him?
I know I like him, but I mean, here I think Roman Hemby's that like 7th round running back prospect will actually like work out. You know what I mean? Like he's just that kind of player.
You know, who's a great prospect here is Chip Trainum, former.
I do like Chip Trainum a lot.
Shout out to my boy. Shout out to my guy Chip. Hoban Knight, one of the best to ever wore the uniform. Shout out to Chip. Who you like here? You want to go Roman Hemby?
I'd go Roman Hemby.
All right.
Sad day for the Alabama running backs.
Yeah. So
Miller.
Jordan Tyson, they give you an A, Mike. A+ for Monroe Freeland at the 20th pick. You want to break down this draft right here, Mike? It's a pretty good, impressive draft here.
You're welcome, Andrew Berry. I just fixed the team. The team is now going to the playoffs. They're going to the Super Bowl. Teams with CJ Allen on the Browns are scoring a total 6 points against us. Nobody's able to do anything. And with Jordan Tyson, Skylar Bell, your wide receivers are good. You have a better running back backfield as well with Roman Hemby backing up as a 3rd running back. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Rocket Sanders. I think if they flesh him out more, he'd be great, but I think Roman Hemby is excellent. You got some more help in the trenches. You built up the back line of the offensive line, and you have a guy that Andrew Aller, hometown kid. I mean, even if he's just, a backup long term or what have you, I think he can actually like develop into a decent backup quarterback.
All right, so that's Mike's full mock draft with trades involved. So he has Jordan Tyson. He traded down from Dallas. He traded from 6 to 12. He traded 6 and 24 for 12 and 20. And I think got an additional 2nd round pick next year. So our 3rd round pick, excuse me. So he got Jordan Tyson at 12, Monroe Freeland at 20. So solved the receiver, offensive tackle. Took the best player available, 39, CJ Allen. Skylar Bell, a great, a lot of people say Jarvis Landry, but faster slot kind of guy out of UConn. Malik Muhammad, the corner out of Texas at 92. Safety Genesis Smith at 107. Xavier Harris, defensive lineman, who I think is a sleeper at 112 out of Ole Miss. Markel Bell, the offensive tackle the Browns have brought in for a visit at 120 as a swing tackle. Drew Howard, the Medina product. Shout out to him. Quarterback from Penn State at 146 as a flyer. Jacoby Lane, another guy, low risk, high reward guy, USC. Wide receiver at 149. Jaeger Burton, interior lineman out of Kentucky. Joe Royer, the former Buckeye out of Cincinnati at 206. And then Roman Hemby, the national champion running back at 248. So, good stuff there, Mike. Now, to close out the show, my man Humble, well, he's got a question for me first. He said, Joe, how does Quinshon Judkins look next year after his injury? The injury, I think, was fine. I think he recovered pretty well. I think he was fully healthy by the sprain already, wasn't he, Mike? So
yeah, he's already back in the building working out. I mean,
that's a good sign. I mean, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll come back and be a monster next year and have a great year.
He gonna be all right.
Now he wants this. The one he asked earlier. He said, Mike, raw, honest thoughts on Coach Monken. Now, obviously, with the day we hired Coach Monken, you went berserk on my show.
I did.
Has your opinion changed since on Coach Monken?
Yeah, I like Todd Monken. I think he's a great offensive mind upon looking at it. I think he's the antithesis of what Kevin Stefanski was as a coach when it comes to just demeanor and disciplines. So I think, they were looking for something the exact opposite of Stefanski, and that's what he is. So, I'm hopeful. I'm going to be hopeful until the Browns give me a reason not to be. That's where I'm at.
Mike says stay hopeful. OH.
Oh, I know this one. IO, of course.
I was about to say. You better not get that right. I was like waiting for you, like. You got it. He said, "You're a true believer." Glad to hear you came around,
well,
Mike. He said,
"True believer" is a strong way to put that, but we'll see.
All right. Joe threw his hands. Well, great show, Mike. Great to have TPF back ahead of the draft. I know you got some more shows you're gonna do before the draft and get it crack-a-lacking. But make sure you guys go subscribe to my guy Tune In Sports. Again, Tune In Sports at Cavaliers Talk as well. He put out some videos yesterday. Go subscribe to him, and then also go subscribe to my guy Humble at his new channel with the UFC coming up tomorrow night. Humble Man MMA. Go subscribe to him. Show him some love. And he put out his first video, give his picks for the UFC event this weekend. So make sure you go take a look there at that video and like, subscribe, and share. But Mike, do you want to tell me to like, subscribe, share to this channel?
Folks, thank you so much for joining. It has been an absolute pleasure being with you today. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Thank you for all who commented in. Thank you for all who will comment in. Thank you for all the old subscribers. Thank you for all the new subscribers. We appreciate you very much. Love you very much. We're going to try and do a bunch of these as the draft quickly approaches.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Got to be back on Mike's show today. Hey, Southern Belle, why don't you take us out?
My, oh my. I'm saluting now. What you doing? I don't know, but always stay professional now. Come on now. Play that outro. Play my music.